Hello everybody, I'm here with Dan from Wrenegade Studios. A first timer as an exhibitor here at UKG.
Yeah, that's right. It's the first time this side of the table. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you first off the bat, what have you brought with you?
So this is Beyond the Veil. It's a tabletop role-playing game, and it's set in the modern world. So it's about a twist on the modern world where there are paranormal things going on. So that could mean you're investigating aliens, or maybe ghosts, maybe cryptids. But the view on it is it's really narrative-led. So if you're playing a character who, in a certain situation, let's say, I found this piece of rope and I want to swing across this room, they could well do that if it makes sense for them as a person, and the rules will definitely support you in trying that. But if you try that, let's say you roll up a character, you could play as my gran if you wanted to. Grandma definitely couldn't do that, and in that case, the rules are definitely going to fine you, as it were. But the idea is you can do anything you want.
So, first off, I see there's a full set of polyhedral dice there.
Yes.
What's the base mechanics of the system?
I'm glad you asked that. So we have 6 core attributes, like many games, and the idea is you assign one of each of those to each of those attributes. And so inherently each player therefore is balanced, because you only get to assign each one each time. But it means that you can always have a go. The mechanics allow you to always try something, because the dice explode upwards. Okay. So if I'm rolling my D4 stat, let's say I'm quite weedy, but I need to break open this door. If I roll a 4 on the D4, I get to roll a D6. If I roll a D6, it will keep on going up. Right. Now, the math on going all the way through the D20 is really against you. Yeah. But still, the chance is always there.
I like the fact that it both explodes and flips to the next dice up as well.
Yeah.
Because often when you see exploding dice, you're capped at the die that you're rolling. So, in that D4 instance, 25% chance of getting a 4, and then you roll a D4 again, you get a 1, you're going, well, I'm not really any better off, at least with a D6, or a D6 going to a D8. It advances you in that regard as well, so it gives you a better sort of balance on it.
Before you go on though, there is a kicker. If you let's say I'm weedy and I decide, I'm going to break open this door. There's a risk to me for doing that. So I'll roll my D4, and if I roll a 1, then I've got to roll that same dice again. If I roll another 1, then something mechanically bad has happened. And it will always, we advise the overseer, which is the name for the Dungeons Master, Games Master, we advise them to kind of allow someone to fail forward. And it's like an interesting fail rather than, now you can never open the door and the game is over. But what we're trying to do is there's always opportunity with each roll, and there's always jeopardy with each roll.
Yeah, the door is open, but your shoulder is no longer in the socket.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about characters then? It's a modern game. Does that mean people are going to be playing relatively normal people, doctors, nurses, that sort of thing, or are there a bit more esoteric characters?
I'm smiling because you've clearly done this before, because you're asking the best questions.
That I love RPGs. So
well, there we go. It's not your first rodeo. So yeah, the idea is that you're playing very normal people. Now, it's a classless system, it's a level-less system as well. And so if you wanted to, and if fun for you meant, and we're going to roll up a party of monster hunters, and you can say, well, I'm ex-special ops and I'm a paramedic, and you could do that, and you could have like relatively kind of superhero style in there. But most of the people come and play the game, so, well, I'm a retired librarian that has 5 children, and we've got a beekeeper who's one of our pre-generated characters, and the idea is that literally the characters come into the game not realizing that these paranormal things are going on, and then it starts to become apparent, and the game is trying to challenge you to always have to collaborate. So you're not a bunch of superheroes that could all somewhat deal with a situation on their own. The opportunity to min-max are actually not really there in this game. And I'm not saying that's a bad way to play a game, but it's just not what we're supporting here. And so we're really trying to foster that sense of collaboration, because just like any human, I say that recently I tried to build my own kitchen, and it didn't go very well, because what I really needed was a plumber and a carpenter. And the game is trying to do that anecdote and say, right, I need your character and their strengths to cover for my weaknesses, and if we work together both narratively and mechanically, we can succeed there. Whereas if we try and divide, we will probably fail.
I absolutely love the idea of this. 20 odd years ago, my own little group, we sat down to play one evening, and the GM decided, okay, I'm doing a one-shot. What stats do you think Jerry has? And he went, okay, he's quite fit. At that stage I was relatively intelligent, maybe he's a cheeky get, so he's not particularly charismatic, but we started up everybody around the table, and then he went, okay, you're all here in front of me, we're playing this game, and then it went into a zombie horror, and it was what did we do as ourselves in that moment running through Belfast. And this sounds exactly like that sort of weirdness happening to ordinary people, which is just fantastic.
That's a great observation. Let me tell you something about the game, which I like. So it pepper pots between two states. One is what we call the investigation phase, which is quite considered, quite slow. Each round kind of it makes about 10 minutes, let's say. And so let's say you go into a house that you think is haunted, and you spend you can spend as much time as you want, being as procedural as you like or not, and you can discuss as much as you want out of character. So, well, I'm going to go over here to set up this tripod of lights and whatever, or I'm going to go over here with my EMF, whatever it is. So quite calm, try to work out strategically how to do what we need to do. But then when an entity actually comes in your presence, we flip to the escalation phase. And the idea with that is 10 seconds. And so if you want to communicate out of character, you can do that, but you can only do as much as you can do in 10 seconds. And the idea is we're trying to have that play experience where, oh my God, the stuff is hitting the fan, and we can't talk about it calmly. We might need to run away, or we might need to throw things at a poltergeist or what have you, but we've got to do it quickly. And the mechanic is trying to kind of build in that sense of panic because, we now no longer have perfect communication out of character. Yeah. And so the thing about you running through the streets of Belfast going, we're trying to bring that in there, yeah.
Absolutely love this. Is it available at the Expo itself then, or is this something that's going to be coming later down the line?
So we released the what we call the prologue this week. So it's available on our website for free as a PDF download, and we have physical copies here to sell. We sold the first one earlier on today, and so we call it the prologue because it's not the full game, but it's also more than a quick start. It's about 80 pages long, so it's got some meat to it. It's all you need to start playing the game. So it's fully featured, but like the full game will be 250 pages. It'll have a whole lot more lore in there, the bestiary and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. If people want to find you here at the Expo, where are you?
Great question. We are in Hall 2 at 951.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And if people aren't here at the Expo but maybe want to grab the prologue, where should they go looking for that?
So we are at renegadestudios.com. I was pointing down there, but you probably can't see it. But yeah, so renegadestudios.com.
We will pop it below because it is a renegade with a W.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Ren. Yes, very, very apt, very appropriate, very spooky. The spookiest of birds. Right, we're going to push on and see what else there is to see, but keep your eye out for this and possibly check out that prologue at home.